Hi everybody. Today I'm going to be walking through the steps of how I make my flower bouquets or flower arrangements. So I've got my vases, I've got my flowers that I cut this morning. I like to cut them early in the morning, that way they've had all night to sort of recover from the heat. It's early mid-July here in Zone 5B, so we're having really hot days. So I like to cut very early in the morning or later in the evening if you prefer. Then it's they've had some time to kind of recover and rehydrate after all the heat of the day. So the first step is cutting all my flowers, and then I actually let them rest for a few hours. So I just let them down here in the basement with no lights on, just in the cool, to kind of just recover from the stress of being cut. The next step is to sort them. So we're gonna do some video magic and sort the flowers. So, let's see. Okay, so I'm done sorting, and the way that I like to sort is by sort of function and then color and size are three ways you can sort. So here I've got my my star flowers, which are going to be the sunflowers. I've got a couple different colors, so I've just got those laying out so I can see what they are. Then these kind of supporting star flowers. We've got some white cosmos, pink, just, a handful of a couple of these that were things are just starting to bloom. So it's a little bit of a hodgepodge right now. Got a couple zinnias and rudbeckia, a couple echinaceas. Then moving on to my fillers. So I'm using buckwheat as my filler. It's got these really pretty little white flowers, and it's just got these really beautiful leaves. So I've got them just categorized by taller and thicker stems and then shorter. And then I've got some phlox. I've got my astilbe, and then I've got my Russian sage. And over here I've just got, I guess, what I'm calling my discard pile. A nice reason for letting them sit for a few hours is after you've cut them, just let them rest overnight preferably, but a few hours works well as well. It just sometimes a plant for whatever reason just isn't, maybe it's not healthy, it's just not, it's gonna wilt. So rather than cutting and immediately making your bouquet or your arrangement and then later finding out that some of it wilted, I like to just let it rest and then find out all that beforehand. So now we've got this sorted, and it's time to start making our arrangements. All right, so the way that I start is I grab maybe about 3 of my fillers. I like to keep that as kind of my center. And then I'm gonna pick my star. So I'm gonna pick a nice sunflower, and most of the time in the field I trim off the leaves in the field, but sometimes I do it at this stage as well. You just want to get rid of any leaves that might have insect holes. Also, they're just really, sunflowers are just so bulky that getting rid of some of the foliage helps. I'm going to add a couple of flowers around the edges. Okay, so now I'm going to add like some short fillers. And you want to stagger them at different heights so that it fills in at like different levels. We're going to have our flocks right here. I'm going to add a couple more fillers around the outside. And then this here. Now once you've got your arrangement, so I've got about 1, 2, 3, 4 like supporting flowers to my main focal flower. I've got, what do I have? I should have 1, 2, yeah, about 4 actually astilbe. So those are kind of the spikes. It brings a nice dimension to the piece. Ooh, this one is broken. That's not gonna work. And then my Russian sage, which is this nice airy piece. It kind of brings some spillage, just another texture. So now once you're happy with that, we'll kind of grab a vase and kind of see like the height. So we want this to sit right around here. So I'm going to just cut right about there. And I need some water. So there we go. And now once you're in your vase, you can just arrange. You might want to cut certain things shorter, like this one. I want it to be right over the lip of the vase, so I want it to be a bit shorter. Even a little shorter. Perfect. So that one just sits right there. I love that. We've got our different textures, and this is what is called like a market bouquet, or a, you know, the mixed arrangement you might find at like a grocery store. And what that means is it kind of looks good from like every angle. It's you know, you try to make sure that from every angle, wherever it sits, it looks good. Obviously the sunflower is facing one direction, but that is the goal. Now, if you're going to be making arrangements for, you know, like an event, or say even just your table that sits against a wall, you would want to do it a bit differently. Like, you want to have everything facing the front, none of your show-stopping flowers like facing the wall. So it really depends on what your application is, but that is a basic nice arrangement. You've got your different textures. Some people like to call them thrillers, fillers, and spillers. So your thrillers would be your main, your fillers are your foliage and sort of you know, minor supporting cast flowers, and then your spillers are things like maybe a grass that tumbles over, you know, this kind of thing. And I do have, I am growing some millet as well for their nice seed pods. I'll be incorporating those into bouquets. So that is my basic process. One thing I forgot to mention, when you cut your flowers, what you want to do is like strip the leaves in the field, because you can just cut it and immediately like strip the leaves off. I didn't show that. But the reason being, you never want to have any leaves that are below the water line or even really in the vase. I try to keep leaves out of the vase. Anything below the water line is going to rot and just damage your plants, spread disease. And then anything that, even if it's in the vase, not under the water, it's still going to like trap airflow, and you want to still have like airflow through these stems. Just to kind of keep it as healthy and as long as possible. So I'm going to make the rest of these bouquets now. There's one. So these are the finished bouquets. Again, I'll let them sit for another few hours before I'm actually going to deliver these, but if I were going to bring them to a market, I would let them sit again for another few hours or overnight. And that way I can see if anything has started to wilt. Because sometimes when you're putting them in the vase, like the stem will break, and then therefore that one's gonna die. So I don't want that to be in an arrangement that I'm giving to somebody, or selling to somebody. So I'll just go through and replace, or just tweak things here and there, maybe add some more low fillers right around the vase line. But that is it. I'm certainly a beginner at this. I just love flowers. I hope you got something out of this. And thanks for watching. Let me know any tips. If you do things differently, please let me know in the comments. And have a great day. Thanks for watching.